This podcast is brought to you by Your Reno Works.
I went on Instagram and Facebook and then, just type out renovation companies, and then Your Reno Works came out, and then I sent a PM. Within an hour, somebody else got back, and then I went over and then we met Latif. I gave him the ideas. I gave him whatever I wanted. I already met many IDs. I really like how he was very transparent about things and cost and, the prices and all. And in front of me, he had his computer on, and then, he measured everything and he said, okay, this is possible. That's not possible. This is good. I said, okay, I like, and, we could vibe lah in a way. Yeah, my favourite part is the kitchen. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Really? I thought you like the living room. Hana, what's your favourite part? Living room. Okay. Yes.
It's very spacious and it's iconic.
Spacious and aircon.
Really can be trusted because we actually left everything to him.
Oh, okay.
He started renovation straight away after we gave him the keys. So we were very impressed with the swiftness of things. He was very prompt in, giving us videos as well, updating us via videos and pictures. He was very nice. He was trying to rush for Hari Raya as well. We were not. We were like, okay, we know we have 2 months. We are okay to move after Hari Raya. But Latif okay, we have to try to complete before Hari Raya without hesitation. It can be trusted. Definitely.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Outside In with your host Yanto.
And Farah, your go-to source for honest conversations about relationships and marriage and rich.
So if you're ready, let's go.
Let's go.
Lain macam you punya intro hari ni.
Yeah, recently my intro semua lain-lain. Jadi orang tune in kan, they don't know what they're gonna expect. Hari ni Farah cakap macam mana gitu.
Macam gitu. Anyway, so selamat kembali kepada another episode. Bersama kita juga adalah Your Reno Works lah, Naim dan juga Latif.
Thank you guys. Assalamualaikum.
By now I think korang dah charm muka dia, especially muka Latif. Latif ni asyik keluar social media. Very nice. Very good, very good. Yes.
Naim bila pula nak keluarkan muka lagi banyak?
Belakang Latif.
Belakang. Setiap kali nampak Latif tu Naim ada kat belakang. You tak nampak je.
Kalau korang tak nampak, dia kata macam yang devil's new clothes.
Kan Latif yang shadow lah.
That's right.
Alright, sebelum kita mulakan kita punya episod pada hari ini, maybe we just wanna say thank you kepada siapa-siapa yang dah engage Your Reno Works.
Masya Allah.
I think most recently kita pun ada juga satu insider juga So maybe Latif dengan Naim boleh share a bit more about.
It's not even one lah. There's more than one lah.
More than one, Masya Allah.
So ada yang daripada outside in yang engage kita. So we are very grateful, thankful dengan all the clients yang actually supported kita lah.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you guys. Korang memang
so much.
sokong the best lah.
Mantap. And also I think we shared with them before lah, but the kind of people that listen to us kan, macam the people yang engage Your Reno Works, insiders especially, semua Latif dengan Naim kata macam kita kan, macam introvert, macam very soft spoken. Keluar dari mulut I sendiri soft spoken. Masya Allah. Masya Allah, tabarakallah.
Yes, jangan ainkan diri.
But yes, so there are even more promotions now that they have. So Alhamdulillah for all our insiders yang dapat, insyaAllah.
And then of course, bila korang sokong Reno Works, Your Reno Works ni, korang pun juga sokong kita lah. Lagi-lagi bila korang engage orang, you say that kita kenal daripada outside in. So whenever korang engage tu, cakap je lah, we heard you from outside in. In that way, kita akan build this good community lah, insyaAllah. Then the endless support tu bolehlah jadi dorang punya endless sponsor juga, insyaAllah. Amin. So jangan lupa follow dorang. Pasal recently I think as of today, dorang akan start buat TikTok live.
That's
pasal,
something new.
Yes, it's something new. Pasal menjelang November ni, bulan November 8 and 9 November, Your Reno Works akan ada open house.
Open house.
Yes.
Open house at your
showroom
lah.
8 dengan 9 ni kita akan ada open house. The venue will be kat kita punya office.
Nice.
Okay, so the whole idea for this open house ni is actually to benefit back to kita punya future clients lah. Okay, so we be pushing out a 10% discount. Like I think back then this is our second open house. So back then kita punya open house, we also mentioned this 10% is no gimmick 10%. The person is absorbing that 10% is kita punya subcontractors lah. So they are forced to actually take this 10% for the client punya benefits lah.
Right.
Yeah. So and that is one of it. Of course, kita punya Umrah Bali Bangkok lucky draw is still on.
Yes.
Okay, so it's stackable lah.
Is stackable as well. Okay, so siapa-siapa sign again $20,000 minimum, you get 2 chance. Every 10,000 increase, you get 1 chance again lah.
10 chance banyak tu.
Banyak sangat. Yeah, so every 10,000 increase, there's a single chance add on to the first 2 lah. So if you have 40,000 quotation, you get 4 chance lah in total.
Right.
Okay.
Then on top of that also, so I think the best is if insiders punya people can actually follow kita punya TikTok.
Yes.
So for the month of October ni kita will go on live. So we are pushing out vouchers as well. Okay, so this voucher is a $50 voucher worth $500. Okay, so this voucher you can be used during kita punya open house lah. So you can stack as well, $500 voucher on top of that 10% and also get your lucky draw as well.
Wow. Banyak sih.
Cuma satu orang tu eligible to satu voucher lah.
Of course.
Kalau
address lah.
Right, so korang imagine and just give a quick sum about it. Okay, so for just $50 you get $500 off. 10% off, for example your quotation is $30,000 pasal buat simple $30,000. That's so 10% off, that's $3,000. So that's $3,500 that you have saved. On top of that, dapat lagi chance untuk pergi umrah.
Yes.
Masya Allah.
I also give you another example lah. Okay, so since kita tengah buat promotion and all kan, so some of the things macam kita punya packages. Okay, a very simple BTO package. Kita ada a recent new package, a move-in package. That will cost you about 7,000 plus.
Basic moving package.
That one is basic moving package. Dah termasuk lighting installation, ada TV console, ada wardrobe and all.
Wow, 7,000.
Okay, that was 7,000 plus.
Wow.
Yeah. So lagi satu package yang kita will offer is the kitchen package.
Okay,
there's a 10 feet top, 10 feet bottom. All your kitchen is fully furnished.
Wow.
Okay. Kejap, nak batuk. Yeah. So total up both packages, satu kitchen, satu move in, it will cost about 14 plus, close to 15. Yeah. So that 2 packages actually can finish your BTO.
Wow.
Yeah. So okay, then now comes the voucher. You buy a $50 voucher, you get $500 off. It's already 14.5. Then you get 10% discount. So already at another $1,450 lesser.
Yes.
You're already at the 13 plus range lah.
Wow, what a good deal.
Nak buat dapur.
Boleh.
But this 10% only kalau korang turun and sign on the day of open house itself.
Yes,
That's right. Okay.
Pasal at the same time pun bila korang turun kat open house dia ada all the display panels.
Yeah, samples.
Samples,
Then you can actually feel for yourself apa yang korang nak untuk korang punya dapur lah, bilik lah, things like that. So jangan tunggu lagi. Information untuk mana location dia and timing all that will be on their social media.
Yes.
So please follow kat TikTok dan juga di Instagram. Don't miss out this opportunity. Memang sangat terbaik lah, Masya Allah.
Masya Allah.
Alright, so kita
Sorry.
tak apa. Kena kasih gula-gula. Alright, so kita akan mulakan episod kita lah dengan topik yang I would say at this point in time agak panas sikit.
Okay.
Bukan pasal Fatah Amin, don't worry.
Sorry. Kita sengaja lah, kita nak makan gula-gula lah.
Yeah, so basically pasal case yang recently kita nampak kat Mothership. Okay,
Pasal apa ni?
dia tentang budak-budak sekolah dibuli. So maybe I just read a bit about this case.
Boleh.
Premise kasih lagu
dramatik sikit lah.
dramatik nanti kena
Okay, tak apa.
Lagu sedih.
Sedih.
Salah. Okay. A primary 3 student from a primary school was allegedly bullied by another student during recess. Father took to TikTok, lepas tu dia cakap lah anak dia ni kena tumbuk, anak dia punya wallet kena rampas, kena snatch. Bila anak dia kejar, dia kena tumbuk. So these are all acts of violent bullying lah. And then lepas tu anak dia macam suffered a concussion, masa mabuk. And then the thing is, budak yang curi dia punya wallet tu, dia ambil colek. Dia ambil anak dia punya snack and makan. Dah macam mencuri jugalah. Then lepas tu dia marah pasal how the school handle it. So in a way, if you guys want to go look at the article, is on Mothership SG. So in a way dia tengah blaming the school pasal dia kata, anak aku ni dah macam mabuk, dah gini-gini, korang buat apa? Korang tak buat emergency ni ke apa, hantar straight ke ambulance ke apa, and things like that lah. So he was upset dengan sekolahnya. So we want to talk about this bullying pasal I think we all know sekarang ni memang the case of bullying has been
On the rise.
rampant. Pasal every time at least once a month kita nampak kes-kes bullying macam gini. And kita sangat risau pasal you Naim dan Latif juga, both of you are fathers yourself to children, especially for Naim who has a son in secondary school sekarang. So memang we are concerned as parents, and then for us pula in this episode, for me, I'm going to come in as my experience as an educator back then. Macam mana kita, if like say I were to handle this case as a teacher lah. Aku pula nak batuk. At the same time pun, why we want to talk about this is because we feel that kita ni pendengar-pendengar, insiders yang mendengar this episode, if you're a parent or if you are a new husband and wife couple yang akan mempunyai anak in masa depan, kita what can we do untuk prevent this from happening to our children, either whether they are being bullied ataupun whether they turn into bullies lah.
I think this kind of things it's hard to prepare for. Sebab benda-benda macam gini, bila you ada anak, you tak terfikir macam okay, I shall talk to him about what to do when you get bullied, right? Benda tu you harap takkan berlaku kepada your kids. But I think in the situation right now with the rise of bullying punya stories and everything, it's as parents, it's good to be in the know lah. Be in the know as in know what's going on, what kind of cases are happening. So macam in a way somehow you boleh prepare at least mentally for yourself and for your kids lah. So hari ni kita ada dua satu bapa yang batuk-batuk kesian dia.
Lupa nak buat botol-botol.
Dia nak promote ni, Cak Ibu dan Anak.
Cak Ibu dan Anak. Buat batuk.
Lama tu.
So macam yang kata Naim dengan Latif ada anak kan. So kita minta dijauhkan lah, but takut-takutnya it happens to one of our kids, you know, and we don't want that to happen.
Maybe before we go into that, apa kata kita bring ourselves back to kita punya zaman sekolah lah. So soalan dia adalah, Latif dan Naim, adakah kamu seorang pembuli?
Dibuli atau pembuli?
Tak boleh cerita lah.
Skip
lah, next question.
Anak dengar ni tak boleh.
Alright, so okay, maybe kita just look at that scenario. Pasal in school zaman kita lah, kita selalu realise that ada group of many different types of students. There's one group of students yang macam Farah yang buat hal sendiri. Ada one group of students
buat hal sendiri, okay.
Ada one group of students yang
macam the popular
cool,
ones,
and then ada pula yang membuli, ada pula yang dibuli. So korang experience like, kau ada nampak tak this type of group even back then during your childhood days?
Back in your days
my experience is Alhamdulillah tak dibully.
Alhamdulillah.
I'm also not the bully type. Okay, and maybe because better I'm on the bigger side. So usually the size helps with the bullies lah.
Faham.
Daripada datang lah, because you have that size mah kan. So tak dibully, tapi usually we see people yang kena bully ni, we tend to want to rescue people lah. Because you're the bigger guy mah, or the bigger boy kan. You tend to help people yang dah kena bully.
Oh, jadi kira kan Latif ni dulu kat sekolah
hero. Tak lah, bukan hero lah, kesian lah.
Dia yang big hero tu, yang kala putih tu.
Baymax.
Bala.
Hati dia baik tau, nak tolong orang.
Betul. Naim pula.
Aku ingat tu suruh kau.
Nanti kau try aku buat real lah, kau jadi Baymax.
Betul, dia punya karakter pun kalau orang cakap ouch ke nanti dia terus activate tau.
Sama time tu TV tak tengok TV
aku tak tengok dia besar dan dia baik kan. Kau teringat tu, so tiba-tiba sudden so
belum tengok, pergi tengok. Tengok anak-anak kau.
Big Hero 6. Naim pula.
Ada juga.
So for myself kan, maybe aku pelajaran tak bagus. So aku kan on the like the normal tech punya side kan. So being at that category punya student, automatically orang akan fear of us lah. Walau kau baik ke jahat tu, orang
naturally orang
see you that way lah. So aku rasa
stigma is it?
So aku that side memang jarang kena bully lah. Gitu lah.
Tapi bully back then, I don't know whether is it kasar or not. Maybe what we went through or what other people went through back then is not as kasar as now, or maybe it is kasar as now, but the kids now is more softer. Don't know. Yeah, so I think bully punya game tend to evolve should evolve kan. Kalau dulu dah gini, sekarang rabak sikit. I saw the recent one yang dia dah death threat
Death threat.
macam death threat, I'm gonna unalive you, something like that lah. One of the videos I saw lah. Yeah, something like that lah. So
I saw one yang dia kat park mana ke apa, dia keluarkan pisau. Keluarkan pisau, dia suruh tanggalkan baju semua.
So which is rabak. Dulu tak ada gini lah.
dulu
I feel tak ada gini lah. Dulu tak ada gini lah.
I think from my experience pula, in terms of bully pun is always kacau-kacau, macam orang tengah buat kerja tolak, orang tengah tulis tolak. That kind of bully, you know. And
Tapi you kena ceritakan kenapa you bully orang. Sebab dulu you dibully.
Like that bully ke? Like that playful I feel.
playful.
Tapi
Tapi pasal
nakal lah.
orang semua kacau that one person lah. Laki ni dia macam jadi bahan bully lah.
Faham.
So I just want to say I'm not a bully.
Not boleh.
I just kacau orang.
Suka kacau.
Suka kacau orang lah.
Dia naturally kan, budak-budak ni kita born to be nakal apa. Nakal tu normal tau. Bully lain tau pada aku.
I think so. I agree also. Yeah, and also I feel like macam Latif kata tadi, it has evolved lah, this bully. Sebab dulu time kita tak ada, ada lah social media tapi not that rampant yet kan. Kalau bully pun bully senyap-senyap, and then the victim will feel macam isolated lah. But now we are in an era, digital era, social media era. So that's why we keep seeing all this type of cases, right? And then it doesn't help also. Kadang-kadang I tengok video-video ni, I tak faham what goes on in their minds, because they are filming themselves doing things that are so macam ya
They're
Allah.
like digging their own grave lah technically.
Lagi
Kan,
ada yang
dah ambil, lepas tu dia post macam
yang kat tangga dia whack budak
itu
tu.
paling tak suka.
Itu geram.
Orang tengok geram.
And the thing is that video yang pukul kat tangga ni has been many months ago tau. But there are many more coming up.
And many more unseen also, you never know.
Yeah, that's why. And I feel that bila like what Farah said, time kita muda-muda pun tak ada sangat lah, kamera kita pun 3GP kan dulu.
pixelator gitu kan,
And
Nokia.
Time naik in pager lagi.
Dia expose.
Tua benar ke dia tengok itu?
Betul kan pager.
Aku pager.
Tak ada kamera pager tu.
Berpengalaman lah Naim.
Dia kalau pager go to hell. Kena kira tu je. Tu paling rabak lah kan kau dapat.
Pakai nombor tu spell. Okay.
Mahal tu nak hantar satu message dulu 10 sen kan tu. So when we talk about the perbezaan bully back then pun, I feel that memang bully is bully lah. I would term it as kita mengambil kesempatan untuk menjatuhkan seseorang
Just for your own personal,
bukan benefit tau, own entertainment. We feel good belittling someone. That's what bullies basically are lah. And then kita pun tengok movies, cerita-cerita yang budak-budak suka bully, tumbuk-tumbuk sini sana, which I feel that kita ni mana datangnya niat ataupun dia punya feel, so aku nak buat budak ni rasa kecil ataupun where does that come from, you know?
When you say that, I always remember what someone told me lah. Dia cakap macam you have to help the victim, but at the same time you have to try and help or understand the perpetrator also. It is not to permiss whatever they are doing. Not to say macam whatever you're doing is okay, but it helps to understand kenapa dia jadi macam gini. There must be a root, macam some kind of history atau root problem or core problem that caused this kid to behave a certain way. So I feel like, I don't know lah, it's just my 2 cents.
Maybe the first thing I share as my experience as a teacher back then lah adalah
Mestian
Allah janganlah. That adalah satu everyday selalu macam tu, nampak mestian how to do this math question so anyway itulah zaman dah over lah. But I mean basically bila aku as a teacher back then ada this I can see lah, we as teachers kita akan tahu mana yang budak suka kena kacau, mana yang budak yang suka kacau, you know, and things like that.
How do you know as a teacher tu macam mana you observe, is it?
We are taught to pick up on certain traits. For example, kalau seorang ni dia loner and things like that, dia nampak budak-budak suka macam like give him macam tolak-tolak semua kat that soft spoken boy. Dia kena lah, nanti dia kena ni. So we as teachers we have to learn to pick it out. And then we have to make sure that we have to do what we can to empower this soft spoken boy so that dia tak senang dipijak lah. Then the same time pun bila when I talk to this budak yang nakal ni yang suka kacau orang, things like that, what you said is true. I tried to find out kenapa dia macam gini. So what we do is kita akan sit down one to one and then like talk to them, belajar apa yang like what is really bothering him. Pasal seorang yang buat macam ini selalunya dia minta attention. He wants attention from people tau.
Tapi,
So
okay, in your experience,
kesian nanti.
Kan drink.
Yes, yes.
Can. Go ahead, please.
Kita pause.
Kita tadi 19.
19
Yeah. Alright.
Okay.
Boleh?
Boleh. Okay.
Where was I?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So in your experience as an educator kan, macam you, Masya Allah, you besar hati, you want to try and understand all these macam naughty kids kan. But when you ask them, what is their reaction usually? Macam diorang macam tak ada, atau they like open up and really tell you what's wrong.
So it comes from approach kita. Kalau kita sebagai cikgu, kita datang kat dia, kenapa kau suka bully budak ni? Nothing lah je, tak bully apa. That's the normal reaction. So what my cara was, I will literally macam sit down with them, don't buat kerja, say, how? Maybe kita kasih nama samaran lah. Hakim. Hakim, how are you today? Semua okay? Ini berbual, tidak macam okay aja ini. The moment dia dah relax sikit, baru kita okay, everything okay at home. Always touch dia punya emotions.
Yeah. Do you remember any macam impactful students yang you were able to break through?
Ada satu lah. Basically this boy, the same boy that I macam I dote on him pasal dia memang tak interested in studies, suka kacau orang, suka attention seeking, things like that kan. So bila part sekolah dia selalu nakal. Okay, until one point in time I did that lah, berbual dengan dia, get on a closer relationship dengan dia just to see what's wrong with him. Then and then I was a CCA coach juga, CCA teacher bola. So kasih pep talk semua one on one. Okay, tu bila dia dapat main, dia kasih macam semangat macam, go Hakim, let's go, do this, you can do this, things like that. So after the match nanti datang, Mr. Yan, thank you Mr. Yan for pushing me. Oh, he perform. Yeah, and walaupun studies dia tak sebagus, but he is more driven. So whenever I come into class, dia berubah. Dia daripada dia tak nak buat apa-apa, dia nampak I just have to like, Hakim,
dia put effort lah.
Hakim, just boleh buat tak? Boleh je. Buat. So it became a macam he learned that someone is looking out for him.
Someone
cares for him. Then he changed on that because dia tak ada the need to macam I need to get attention anymore, you know. Yeah, but of course sebagai seorang teacher ni, we have 40 students in the class. Kita tak boleh rely on this teacher to do everything.
Betul.
Yeah, which then begs the question is, adakah ini salah cikgu kalau anak-anak kita ni selalu dibuli ataupun jadi pembuli? Pasal people apa macam that father dia kata, what is the school doing, things like that. Memang is an isolated case for him, but generally on a day-to-day basis, sebagai seorang cikgu ni, kita seorang bapa pun kadang-kadang nak jaga 4 anak dah pening kepala. Apalagi kita sebagai cikgu yang the whole day at school, 40 budak-budak different arena and things like that. So kita cannot be quick to blame the teachers. Pasal cikgu ni, dia punya the main purpose of a teacher is to educate. So the values pun kita sekarang, I think back then when I was a teacher, we are there to educate values juga. So sekarang peranan mak bapak jadi apa untuk budak-budak ni? You know, that's something that I always question because I have a lot of friends in the education sector juga kan. So now I nak tanya Latif dengan Naim lah sebagai seorang bapa ni. Imagine if let's say your children comes home and say, Papa, ayah, my wallet kena curi, my makanan kena curi, I kena kacau kat sekolah hari ni, basically kena bully lah. What is the first thing that you would tend to do?
Itu kalau dia bilang. Ada juga cases yang kalau satu budak ni dia kena bully, dia diam, dia tak bilang siapa-siapa. Mak bapak dia pun tak nak bilang because of fear, right? But in any case, kalau you dapat tahu anak you kena bully, like what would you do?
For my case kan, I always love to share all this video yang kena bully to my kids.
You expose them to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in that case macam from there kita buat case study yang ramai lah. Kita selalu macam before bedtime kita ada macam this group time with
Group
family
session
macam either we try to tell story what happened in school semua. So from that moment kan, my kids love to share things with me .
Oh, you develop the habit of talking
macam
with each other.
ceritakan sikit then everyone the sibling will listen. Some are funny, some are macam merepek. So depend on how they story themselves lah. So in that way kan macam variable gini kan, I will share with them. So I tell them what you will do, this kind of thing. Then I will tell them what to do. How to react everything. But so far alhamdulillah diorang tak ada that kena bully. So basically first of all kan, aku put my kids semua pergi silat.
Self-defense.
So the reason is not to go for competition, is for discipline and self-defense lah.
Okay.
So maybe this silat pun help them to be more confident in their daily things.
Dia ikut bapak juga pesilat
Yeah, so basically my kids are all, so I think outside parents there kalau takut anak kena bully, maybe banyak taekwondo, silat, all this CC quite cheap $10 per month. Maybe can from there your kids feel better lah.
At
At least
discipline
belajar
activities,
belajar self defense. Daripada kita nak salahkan sekolah, at least kita do our part sih.
Yeah. I mean tadi pun of course you shared your anak punya school pun ada juga case viral bully. Maybe share a bit about the
Itu yang sekolah Sembawang Secondary School, they put all these student inside a dustbin, then they push ke apa gitulah.
Dustbin hijau yang
Besar dah buat tu.
Then I told my son, ni semua which secondary school level lah. Dia cakap sec 3, sec 4 lah. Then I told him, you okay tak? Cakap okay ayah. Dan cakap dia just kat rumah, just macam continue to be then silat tu kan, try to focus more on your fitness, when kau fit enough kan, like Atif sihat barang besar, fit kan, people don't intend to bully you
right.
Kalau kau small size, lembik, these are the bully love to aim these people lah. So my son memang tinggi sih, macam aku height sih. My son. So
Wow, sec 1 dah tinggi gitu.
Dia main bola, so dia sport. So in that way, aku rasa everyone parents need to do their part lah. Don't keep on bullying, don't keep
Blaming
on blaming sekolah ke apa. In the end kita pun start from home lah. Pada aku, maybe this orang yang bully ni pun maybe dia orang lack of attention. Sorry aku cakap this way maybe their home pun lack of attention. That's why
they seek attention
they want attention by bullying people. They feel pride apa. So kalau macam as a parent kita kasih a better proper education dekat rumah tu, orang tak jadi gini sih pada aku.
Right.
For me insyaAllah lah.
Nanti pula.
So for me personally, my kid primary 1, I never exposed to him about bullying, but I tend to ask lah macam ada orang bully ke tak, just to find out anything happen in school lah. So alhamdulillah memang no bully, no bully case lah. But I also told him lah, kalau dia bully orang, I will sunat him one more time. Jadi
kalau your anak bully orang lain.
Kalau bully, you don't be the bully. So to tell him that being a bully is bad, getting bullied also is also bad lah.
Memang I also agree lah. It starts from home jugalah. Pasal kita we always look at children ni, dia macam blank slate of paper tau. Apa yang diorang belajar is apa yang diorang nampak. Daripada segi interaction parents, like for Naim punya example is he ensures proper communication every night and things like that. For Latif anak masih muda lagi kan. So it comes from diorang lead by example. Dorang follow by example. So and then bila kat sekolah pula, dorang, we as parents, I understand bila kat sekolah we cannot really control them. And then that's where dia punya assumption of, oh ni pasal sekolah macam gini, anak aku macam gini. Because kat rumah tak ada macam gini, sometimes it's like that. But sometimes kita as parents pun kita kena faham dengan dia punya situation kat sekolah. And that's what like what Naim mentioned lah, that kadang-kadang ada yang a group of students yang mungkin kurang kasih sayang,
lack of
attention and things like that, and then they seek this attention elsewhere kat sekolah. And that's where I feel kita ni sebagai adults, kita tahu situation. Budak-budak kita pula mungkin diorang confused. They don't really know what is going on. To them it feels okay because it validates them as a person, as a child. So kita nak pass on this knowledge or rather this empathy towards others memang susah lah for a parent going towards a child. So it's really something yang kita when it comes to bully ni, memang it's never ending lah, and it's not easy to end it unless kita sebagai parents place more attention on what's going on in
We can educate differently lah. Kalau ada bully keep on rising, then kita, our part as a parent, pergi hantar silat ke,
Kita pun involve lah kan. Find other ways lah.
pergi kickboxing ke apa, pergi lari ramai apa dengan your family, then kalau kena bully boleh lari apa.
Betul.
Build stamina. Run
I think my thoughts on it is I'm also a strong believer that everything starts from home. Right. So I believe yang victim of bully harus dibantu, yang the perpetrator atau yang bully orang tu pun harus dibantu, but in different ways. But I feel like what Naim told us just now, right? Dia hantar anak dia pergi silat and everything. I think that's a really macam, to me personally lah, is a good move as a parent, especially because kita faham. I'm not going to say too much, but kita faham that Singapore punya education system ni is macam high. The level is high, right? High pressure and things like that. And if kita tanya diri sendiri atau amongst our peers pun, we can see that not everybody are gifted in terms of education. Sometimes they are more
hands-on,
talented in arts, talented in sports. So macam if they are not doing well in school, macam education tu macam is a little bit hard for them. Macam school
academically.
subjects. Academic, yes, that's the word, academically. Then kalau kita bagi dia another outlet, macam sports atau anything else lah, for them to try to be able to macam,
excel.
Actually, excel. I'm good at this. I like this. Then diorang akan ada that confidence tau.
Macam pembuli tu, hantar diorang pergi wrestling, boxing apa. Betul lah, give them a proper space,
proper outlet.
Betul. Maybe diorang pembuli main boxing jadi champion. Better way apa.
Tak salah, one of the Singapore punya boxer ke MMA fighter, if I remember correctly, dia face a lot of trouble in terms of anger and things like that, and he actually did that. Dia join MMA. Amir, is it?
Yeah.
So he joined MMA ke apa, and then he actually excelled in it, and it made a lot of it made his life better, basically.
Better journey
Better journey, correct. Which is what you say lah. Memang kadang-kadang dorang cannot focus on something else, and then they excel in something. And these children or these young adults dorang, one thing I think we all can test for this. Kita kadang-kadang bila kecil-kecil kita nak macam cakap lah aku bagus, cakap lah aku validation dia. And it's part of dorang punya upbringing juga. Pasal if as a child kita macam ditepikan,
dah panggil budak
kan. Dia macam tak ada orang kan nak layan aku, kalau kita ingat balik kita kecil, zaman muda-muda pun, we try to always get attention from someone. Macam mana kita get this attention, lain budak lain cara. But of course kita kena ensure yang kita dorong dorang in the right direction lah.
I feel like lain budak lain cara, right? Macam yang kata like we have budak-budak yang macam Yan, who is more vocal, expressive, more macam the more macam abang-abang popular gitu lah. And then we have students like me who's a lot more shyer and introverted and always in our own bubble. Tapi at our core, kita semua nak validation. Kita nak macam our parents or our teachers, somebody just to say I'm proud of you, you're doing good. It's like that. So kita nak kena, I feel lah, if I were to be a mom one day kan, I want to macam make sure that my kid ni have something that she is proud of, and macam I will validate lah. Cakap macam I'm proud of you. InsyaAllah one day.
Ada tak experience for yourself kalau korang ingat balik bila time zaman-zaman muda ni, yang this kind of moments yang betul-betul make you realise aku ni seorang manusia yang berguna? Ada tak time muda-muda?
Berguna tak ada dah. Tak guna. Sebab tu kita
sangat tak ingat lah.
Sebab tu
soalan dia dah serius, tapi nak jawab ada ke
tak guna lah.
Masya Allah, macam mana aku nak continue ni?
Maybe I can share. In my ni macam I've always had this thing tau. I don't know if you guys can relate. Daripada my journey my educational journey dari kecil, daripada madrasah. Alhamdulillah, I was always one of the top scorers. Alhamdulillah, dia masuk primary school. And then I was the only student in my class that was able to choose express.
Okay.
So macam achievement lah. But then I went into secondary school and then I got into the express stream lah. But then I was the 4th express class. Then masuk poly, dapat amongst my peers I dapat the the lowest score. Gitu. Apa
Lowest aggregate.
Aggregate. Then I dapat masuk Singapore Poly. But then so what I'm trying to say right is like,
By the way, congrats Congrats.
Masya Allah.
Banyak semua result bagus-bagus.
Oh, Masya Allah. Masya Allah.
Tadi nak kena praise apa? You want me to
Masya
praise
Allah.
Aku congrats dulu. Aku congrats you again.
Okay, especially in poly onwards kan. Because I've always been macam one of the more performing ones, academically wise lah. But once I masuk poly, right, there is so many other smarter people, more talented people, more outgoing, especially because I'm from the media and communication punya course kan. I felt macam, wow, what am I doing here? Yeah, and then my academics pun macam average. My GPA also average lah, alhamdulillah. Tapi my point here is macam the
trajectory, the path,
the journey lah, the journey tu.
Okay.
Yeah, the journey. Apa yang made me kept going is my mother, especially my mother punya encouragement.
Right.
Macam dia tak macam outwardly, mama so proud of you sayang gitu. She's more macam teruskan, mama doakan, mama bangga. But keep improving lah yourself. Yeah, so the validation tu in another form. Dulu macam I tak faham sangat. But sekarang I appreciated that a lot because it pushed me lah. Alhamdulillah academically I did okay. Tapi macam I cakap tadi, now seeing especially the newer generation kan, now in the social media generation, they are not interested so much in academics, especially macam you nampak kat social media people start to post you don't need a high education to get a job and things like that. So the seed is planted in their mind. Cuma education is still important lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was what I say.
So now to the next point that I want to mempertengahkan kan is basically the usage of phones when it comes to bullying. Yeah, pasal like what we mentioned tadi where kita sekarang nampak lagi banyak videos and things like that. So to the bullies out there, kalau korang nak ambil video ni semua, memang patutlah korang ambil video.
Ya,
kita
dia ambil
bertangkap.
betul je. Betul.
Yeah, so we can
Ada
catch you.
evidence.
Betul,
Yes.
tapi continue ambil video. Jadi tahu.
Correct. But at the same time pun like what I feel Naim is doing is, you know, to share to your children about these videos yang bullying and all that as a form of example kan. If let's say one day anak kita does your son have a phone?
Phone ada.
Okay. Do you check his gallery ke apa tak?
Pernah check sekali dulu lah. Dan lepas tu aku regret lah. Macam lebih baik jangan check lah.
Okay.
Did you find something that you
No lah, I mean
find?
dia orang punya
Privacy.
Gen Alpha punya WhatsApp group punya aku tak boleh brain so.
Pening.
Ya, macam aku tak suka engkau, aku buat group chat engkau tu attack dia begitu lah. Atau I like you dan kita dua add you dan kita macam berbual pasal love. Macam tak boleh brain lah. So aku just tak mau check lagi lah. Like EB lah kan.
Right. So maybe in this particular example kita akan letakkan Naim as kita punya abang Long untuk form example pasal
Abang longkang.
pasal Latif punya anak sekarang primary 1.
Ya, primary 1.
So
Tak buat sunat.
Dan kena sunat. Betul. Kena sunat lagi.
So eventually he will grow up to be someone who also owns a phone. Kan, it's going to happen one day. So apakah sebagai seorang bapa yang kau ensure yang pasal we talk about bullying, we talk about phones ni because cyberbullying is also a form of bullying. And it can come from WhatsApp messages, it can come from DMs and things like that. So what can a father do to control or to prevent these kind of things from happening to the son, apart from daripada this sharing of videos. Pasal these kids, they have access to everything in their palm of a hand. So kita I personally I ever had that talk with Farah. I don't know whether I had talk with you before, but if let's say I have a child pun I am scared to let them out into the open ataupun to even give them a phone because of the fact that these kind of things are happening. But we cannot deny them the fact that this is part of technology, part of life right now. Diorang akan perlu this device in the end. So
I think pantau is important lah. Pantau is important. Tapi to prevent or cut dia punya access, you tend the kid tend to be more curious. Curious. So they will find ways to get behind your back lah. So I would rather give and pantau lah.
Right.
Yeah, for me, I use these apps, Family Link. So whatever they watch kan, aku boleh observe macam aku buka hari ni Friday I can see individual of my kids, macam my son nanti main game bola, YouTube, Instagram dia will be higher side.
Oh, interesting.
So the girls will be macam main games or the girls game.
Okay.
So in that way aku dapat observe from far lah.
Right.
Whatever they download also I can observe. Kalau macam by diorang merepek, tak belajar, tak solat kan, aku matikan dia.
Wow.
All phone can lock lah. All phone can lock lah.
Interesting app ni nama
Dia Google lah, Google Family Link.
Family link. So in a way you are controlling their access to.
Diorang mentally lembik tau. Kau lock diorang lembik. So dah macam
tak tahu nak buat apa.
Serius.
Lost.
Diorang phone tu is diorang punya
Lifeline.
sekarang. So by kau locking kan, diorang dah tiba-tiba ngaji.
Masya Allah.
So everything miracle happen lah bro. Main sunat semua Zul.
Right. So maybe Latif pun boleh download demi app
Which is correct lah, pantau daripada jauh lah. What is this pantau daripada jauh?
Tu pantau near macam
terlalu
limas lah.
Betul.
Right.
Okay, then I give you a hypothetical scenario lah.
Okay.
One day your kid, maybe you dapat notification from the Family Link tu, dia buat benda maybe something that he's not supposed to do. How would you approach him?
First aku blame diri aku lah. Maybe aku lack of attention to them.
Okay.
Kalau aku give good attention this thing will never happen ya.
Right.
So aku blame aku lah. Aku balik malam sampai aku sampai busy
Gadaikan family gitu.
So maybe first aku blame myself. Second aku tanya dia kenapa lah. So kalau naturally kalau kita kasi good attention this thing will never happen. Aku pernah tell before this episode, my father never give me a good attention. Lepas tu we go differently, different ways lah.
Cycle lah.
So aku don't want to go through like how I go through with my father. So aku create the new path for my kids lah.
Wow.
Masya
So okay lah.
Allah.
No right no wrong lah. No right no wrong. Serious.
Kita punya Abang Long Naim lagi ni. Every episode ada You're Nervous kan? Naim punya words.
Nama tu Latif, betul Abang Long Naim letak.
Latif
Kan aku lebih shadow shadow kan link.
Kau pula pantau dia dari belakang.
Dia ada family link kat aku. Pantau dia.
Kita dah tahu waktu tu matikan.
Interesting.
Wow. Okay. Because I also agree in terms of kita let them roam to learn and let them roam to explore. But of course, these boundaries have to be set jugalah kan. Pasal kalau kita tak set boundaries, kita gasak lah. Buat aja apa kau nak. Itu yang that's where we lose track or lose sight of apa dia punya growth of our child ni lah. You never know what they might do and things like that. Because when it comes to social media ni memang it's crazy. Lagi-lagi TikTok sekarang, ya Allah, benda-benda merepek semua keluar. So we don't know exactly what we can see. And as a parent I feel that you guys punya duty is we can give so many words of advice, so many pantau and things like that. But end of the day, if let's say you don't have that connection with your child, like what I mentioned lah, kalau tak ada that connection, these negative things are bound to happen because they are more curious. Macam ni benda okey ke tidak, benda okey.
Pada aku this fear kan must be at all time. Because this fear lah bikin kita lagi berhati-hati. Kalau tak ada fear ni kita ambil indah je. We take things easy. Betul tak? Pasal dia keep on the fear ni macam insyaAllah tengok anak aku tu. Kalau tak ada fear ni kan, kalau ada fear ni better lah pada aku. So that we keep on bonding with our kids more.
Fear of them doing something wrong.
Betul.
Right.
I feel like now also.
Tak ada nak saya okay, just a thought lah.
Yes.
Kita swing the question back to you all lah. Okay. So kalau if your kid is the victim. Sebelum korang tanya, aku tanya dulu.
Mana Latif? Dia dah pandai.
Kalau your kid is the victim, how would you react?
Alamak.
Aku
I don't know how I would react.
Pas.
Pakai pas kan.
Personally, for me is number one is I would definitely like to approach want to find out what is the whole situation kat kelas. Like memang maybe sama juga macam Naim, I would take the blame. Like I probably would not have noticed some signs. That's why this melerit ke, dia jadi bully, things like that kan. Ataupun dia dibully. So definitely I would want to find out what's the situation at school. Kelas dia macam mana, how is he as a person. That's why I think the parent-teacher meeting once every semester is very important. You know,
To find out what's
happening. And then because even as teachers dorang ada dorang punya own things to do. Dorang ada keluarga dorang juga. So but they know what happens in class kan. So I need to find out what happens. Then from there I see, okay, is this a one-off thing ke, ataupun dia selalu dibully ke. And then I definitely would like to talk to the parents lah yang bully anak kita. But definitely kalau okay lah, aku share a bit lah Dulu aku kacau. Ni aku kasih lagu kelakar sikit lah.
Kelakar
Dulu aku dengan kawan aku lah, these two bros ni, kita
Sebut nama? Tak ada.
Dia of course dia aku share. So me and him, kita ni rapat lah. Habis ada satu budak kelas kita ni yang kita kacau lah. Simply put So to a point kita kacau dia, terus dia lari daripada kelas. Lari daripada kelas and things like that. Dia menangis. Aku tak tahu dia nangis, tapi dia nangis. Dia bilang parents dia, malam tu mak dia call aku. Dia call aku
Directly to you straight?
Direct.
Okay.
Straight. Cakap, why you bully my son?
Beruntung saya dah handphone kecil-kecil.
That time lah kan. Sek 2. Sek 2.
Okay.
So aku cakap, sejak bila aku bully? Pasal dalam video, kita ambil video, tapi kita tak post. Kita tak macam budak-budak sekarang, kita tak post. Kita ambil video. Pasal that video, kita semua tengah ketawa. Even the guy that we kacau, dia pun tengah ketawa. Dia kata we were having fun. Tapi dia ketawa, mungkin dia takut lah. Mungkin tak tahu. Tapi bila diberikan berita kepada mak dia, dia dibully. Next day aku kena turun jadi master office. Kawan aku the other guy dengan mak dia. Mak dia pun turun Mak dia turun, dia berbual-bual. Lepas tu dia cakap dengan aku, do you know how long it takes for me to be in labour or not? 24 hours I was in labour with him. Is it easy for you to make fun of him? The next thing that I know, dia tumbuk aku. Mak dia tumbuk aku.
What? Then?
So aku dah macam gini, I'm sorry for disturbing your son ni. Sambil gini dia pam.
Oh ni dah tak kelakar lagi lah. Ni nak
betul juga. Aku tengah tunggu punchline keluar. Di mana punchline dia keluar?
Mak dia tumbuk aku. Aku dah macam tu senang tu. Then
in the general office. As in the discipline office lah.
Discipline office. Yeah, and then pasal it all happened so fast. Mak dia pun react very fast. Pasal dia tengah marah. Sampai aku punya discipline master tak sempat nak stop. Dia dah tumbuk, lepas tu dia tu. Pasal you punch the child. Technically kan. So ni tak pernah aku ceritakan. So if my parents somehow were to hear this, please don't get angry at the mother. It was my fault. But technically that happened to me. And at that point aku terus snap in a way macam I realised that what I did was wrong. I mean I won't justify that apa yang mak dia buat kat aku tu betul. It's not right lah in one way. But bila mak tu dah tengah marah, dia tak boleh tahan. I mean in any parents yang kalau kita dengar kalau dengar anak kita kena bully, kita nampak budak tu mesti rasa marah kan. But probably that lady dah tengah having a bad day, dia terus tumbuk lah. So but because of that aku dapat scot free. Aku tak kena marah daripada cikgu.
Pasal kena rimbat
But yalah, I mean back to the question, if my child were to be bullied, InsyaAllah aku tak macam mak tu lah yang tumbuk anak orang
lain. Tapi mak tu buat efektif.
Efektif
untuk aku.
Kalau
mak dengar kau story, mak tumbuk anak tu.
Tapi I think
besok banyak kes sama mak beli mak budak.
But I think sekarang punya generation, this era I think it won't stop there sih. Nanti mak yang kena tumbuk tu pun gaduh
mak
dengan mak dia,
gaduh.
Mak
dia mak
dah balik macam bangga pula bunyi dia.
Mak.
Because as parents we are protective of our children kan. Tapi dari situ you sedar lah
Yeah, sedar.
Masya Allah.
So if I were to be in a parent
would it
shoe,
be different if the father that beats you up?
Tak tahu
I think will be different kan.
Lagi tapi at that point in time aku bersyukur cuma mak dia yang turun.
Tapi kalau anak you kena bully, apa yang you akan buat dengan anak you? Apa yang you akan cakap dengan dia?
Sunat lagi.
Kalau dia bully ke dia dibully?
Dia dibully.
Dia dibully. Okay, kalau dia dibully, of course.
Kalau bully sunat. Okay.
If my child were to be bullied, of course I need to find out what happened, and then definitely educate her on what can be. If you kena bully, first thing you do, please don't be afraid to tell your teacher. Pasal what I realise is dorang takut untuk bilang cikgu. Pasal mungkin if you tell teacher, you get worse. You know, this typical lines yang bullies akan use. You know, you tell you snitch on me. Sekarang budak snitch. You don't snitch on me. You snitch on me, you get worse. Memang kadang-kadang, of course, teachers don't have your attention. Don't have attention on you 24/7 or throughout the whole school days. But it's a form of, kalau don't berani nak cabar kita, don't be afraid to speak out. Bullying is not right. And when things are not supposed to be done, these people that are doing it in silence. So kita bring forth the action. Bilang orang yang this guy is doing this. Speak out. Pasal when that happens, bully ni akan tahu macam, dorang tahu aku bully . They tend to macam lelo and things like that.
Yep.
Yeah, then eventually pun, of course, definitely kita have to tell the teacher, kita work together dengan cikgu. Pasal kalau aku approach the parents takkan terima. My son not like this lah at home, confirm. Which parent akan tak nak defend anak sendiri? Yeah, if even so lah. So
I feel like in this era kan, especially when we talk about cyberbullying kan, dia macam susah nak find a solution. Because I can give you an example lah. Like kenalan kita satu ni, dia a streamer. So dia main game. Bila dia main game tu kan, suddenly kan it's an open platform, right? People can just join you and can talk to you, can play with you. So ada satu orang ni, at first dia okay, tapi makin lama dia makin nasty, very nasty comments, cakap pasal the appearance, cakap things that are very not supposed to say lah. Whether you're an adult or kid, you're not supposed to say. But the most shocking thing is we found out that this person is a boy.
14-year-old boy.
14-year-old boy saying all these things. Like it was very shocking for me. And the fact that kita nak buat apa, macam kalau boleh kita nak ajar budak ni kan, tapi like how do we even start doing that in the first place? Macam nak cakap dengan mak bapak dia, like you know, it's very,
we don't know where they live. We don't know.
I think the problem here is apa tau, kita never face cyberbully. We never experience cyberbully. Kalau korang dapat experience cyberbully, bawa lah datang sini. Betul lah, tu. Because we never experience this.
Kita era tak
ada, we never face this cyberbully. Then if kids will go to this cyberbully, how kita nak tackle? We also don't know no idea how to tackle. So kalau off the top punya fikir, kalau banyak main game kena bully like that kan, jangan main game lah.
Benda simple lah.
Jangan main game lah. That's our solution lah.
Pada aku pun back to the parents macam main game ni anak dia main sampai the whole night. So the parents ignore, don't know what the kids playing pun, another pun ada issue juga.
Maybe the parents macam busy kerja ke apa.
Betul, correct.
Anak dia tertinggal kat rumah seorang-seorang, then he play games the whole day.
So nanti take away apa? Download Family Tree.
Betul.
Family Link. Google Family Link.
Yeah, about the 14-year-old boy tu pun macam I terfikir lah macam what happened to this boy? Like kenapa dia macam menjadi macam gini? Kenapa dia go online and like harass people sampai this tahap? Like macam very hard for me to understand.
And
so
I think that kenalan kita pun tanyalah, why are you doing this? Lepas dia kata because it's fun.
Tu yang buat maki macam aku tumbuk.
It's fun to see you angry. Which then one of the ways is also bila kita melayankan bully ni, kita giving him validation. Kita giving him that attention that he so much seeks. So the best is of course kita ignore. Macam dia tak layan aku, then he will get tired of wanting to bully you. But at the same time pun kita pun manusia, tahap kita patience ni pun
limit lah.
Limit, you know.
And also because this, when it comes to cyberbullying kan, especially kalau for example on TikTok ke apa, you boleh buat fake account. The trolling account kan, and you can comment and nobody knows who you are. That's the most frustrating part is. And kalau kita tengok macam examples this pembuli, cyberbulliers ni. Cyberbulliers ni. Cyberbullies. Dia macam dia the type yang macam keyboard warrior tau. Tapi kalau jumpa kat luar kan,
muka kuai-kuai, muka baik-baik kan.
Dia orang takkan berani untuk cakap whatever they say online to our face. So macam this veil, this digital veil is emboldening them to say all these nasty things, which I personally think is a problem. So I feel at the end of the day, the root is it starts from home, right? So one way or another, the parents has to intervene somehow lah.
I think is it safe to say kalau aku say this because of generation sekarang, the different technology that's coming up, parents pun ada this extra effort that's needed to really focus on what are these kids doing online juga. I mean, in your experience pun, we cannot really control 24/7 lah kan. But it's the importance of parents to educate budak-budak ni punya cara dorang mingle and telling them what is right, what is wrong. Pasal kalau dorang tak tahu, I mean, if they are doing something wrong, dorang kena tangkap. Memang bagus lah, kena sunat lagi lah kan. Kalau if they don't do, if they know that it's wrong and they did, and then they don't do it, then that's good. But kita what did I want to say just now? So with the times that are changing pun, kita sebagai parents pun, I feel kita pun kena berubah.
Have to keep up with the times.
It's not just them. Macam for example, kalau kita as parents ni, kita just want to be stuck in the old ways. Tak nak berubah. Saya kau lah pakai. Aku tak pandai, aku buat je lah. And then it becomes a problem. Pasal we won't be able to be there to guide them properly. Kan?
Betul. Yeah. I feel like macam if you, for example macam my kid likes to play this certain game or likes to be on this app. Ya Allah, my niece loves Roblox.
It's a thing for the kids now.
So
aku main dengan diorang takut Sul. Ayah tak mau main ayah. Aku get to nak step tahu main ayah. Tak main ayah, tak main lah.
So macam all these apps that our kids are into, right? I feel like it doesn't hurt for us to download the app ourselves and kind of like go through the game. Macam find out game ni actually pasal apa. Macam kalau ada elements kan, ada satu ni kan, okay, ada satu ni. It's an ad. Okay, dia tengah main game. My niece tengah main game. Lepas tu, sometimes ada ad kan. Ada ad tiba-tiba. Kalau tak bayar, then ada ads. And then there was this ad that was so shocking to me. Tapi at that moment, I just diam je. So what happened was, dia tengah main game. Lepas tu ad ni keluar. Ad ni is macam animated photos of girls. Kan, pakai baju. Tapi you can slide then macam nampak naked macam dia macam you can swipe and then erase.
Handphone dia ke handphone bapak dia?
Tanya soalan. Algorithm dia.
Soal leceh.
Bapak dia kena pula.
So it was that kind of macam you just swipe and then it will erase the girls punya baju lah. So as it was happening, right, you imagine this is my niece, this is me, right, dia tengah main, I was watching that macam
what?
Dia macam come okay.
Tekan 3, 2 kan, nanti sebenarnya second lagi tu. Alamak, tekan.
Lepas tu baby check balik tu handphone siapa.
Betul. Itu betul. Betul.
But I think
cerita.
Susah ni. But betul lah. I feel that I mean having as a parent ataupun anyone pun, kalau kita nak suruh orang try something, kalau kita tak try sendiri, kita takkan rasa confident.
So my point is to just download whatever that your kids are into right now and see whether it's macam okay ke tidak. Kalau tak okay, then maybe you redirect their attention to something else lah, something more healthier maybe.
Mungkin it might seem that korang boleh lah cakap macam gini, macam senang aja, things like that. But anak-anak kita ni are going through things, especially when they are still young, masih tengah in the phase of learning everything, exploring everything. I feel that it's an amanah as a parent untuk make sure that they're guided the right way. Walaupun it may seem, ni leceh lah ni semua, but this is anak kita. We don't want things to go bad for them. So it comes with the title of a parent lah. Jangan rasa leceh-leceh ni semua. Ada tak pernah korang rasa leceh?
Pada aku both way kan, kena bully ke dia bully ke, pada aku back to us lah. Parent punya issue lah.
Okay.
Tu budak Syul tengah grow Syul. Pada aku cannot blame them, cannot blame teachers. Pada aku back to parents lah.
Right, so it's their responsibility to
tu
guide.
paling final punya answer lah.
Wow, I love it.
Then tak boleh debate. So I mean, pada aku parents also play a biggest part. Kau beranak, kau nak anak, kau beranak, kau tak jaga anak kau. Problem Syul pada aku.
Right.
So dah habis aku jawab semua habis lah
Itu
boleh debate lah Syul.
Kira kau nak pakai final cut
solid lah. So solid ending
Solid lah.
Okay, dengan itu terima kasih. So I mean of course moral of the story, parents memang hold a huge responsibility.
Tapi to all parents jangan ambil hati. Aku just giving my 2 cents, not sharing around.
Yeah, but
what we thought lah
yeah. But with that being said pun, kalau let's say parents tengah mengalami kesusahan untuk to control these children ke, ataupun you face problems to guide your child properly, there are a lot of resources, avenues to learn from ataupun to minta tolong, minta bantuan, either from family members ke, from internet, and things like that. There are many ways that's available right now. Kalau budak-budak kita have access to everything, kita pun sebagai adults have access to everything.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of kita nak ke tak nak, find that help kalau kita perlukan bantuan tu.
Betul. Macam what you said reminds me of this one thing. Macam especially when we grow older kan, kita punya niece, anak-anak semua growing up, right? And they start doing things yang diorang fikir kita tak tahu. Tapi kita pernah buat benda tu.
Betul.
Kita tahu apa korang buat.
Betul.
We have done that before. So macam diorang macam step macam aku pandai lah, aku macam my parents don't know, but actually come on lah, we were once your age.
Walaupun kita zaman pager pun kita akan tahu pasal kita belikan korang handphone ni. So we know. Macam aku tangkap adik aku tengok Family Guy time dia primary school. Dia fikir dia tersembunyi bawah selimut kan, bawah selimut, step tengok handphone kan, kau komputer buka, buat apa? What are you watching? Family Guy. Why are you watching Family Guy? This is M18. Menangis. Tu adik sendiri, apatah lagi sekarang dah ada, kalau ada anak nanti kan, tu pantau lah. Itu final words kita lah.
Words kita, Masya Allah.
Latif ada final words juga?
Tak ada.
Sunat. Tak.
Tapi kalau bila when it comes to parenting, of course find your resources. Tapi kalau kita nak buat rumah, tak payah find resources, find your renovation. Paling simple.
Can be trusted, y'all.
Pasal promotions this month especially, open house lagi 8 and 9 November. Jangan miss out. Pangkah the date out so that korang boleh turun.
Yes. You make sure you jot it down in your schedule lah. Jadi you can, macam kalau you ada anak ke apa, you can arrange your time to make yourself down.
Maybe for those yang baru kahwin, baru dapat BTO, diorang ada package juga. Moving package, ada kitchen package, ada toilet package, ada lucky draw. Jangan lupa follow kat TikTok, pasal TikTok diorang akan go on live everyday.
Twice a week I think.
Twice a week go on live, and then when they go on live, you can purchase the voucher of $50, dapat $500 discount. Technically, this voucher can be used only kat open house tu. So $500 off, 10% off, chance to go to Umrah, Bali or Bangkok.
Masya Allah.
What else are you waiting for, guys? Tunggu lagi sebulan je. This month, apa korang boleh buat? Apa kalau diorang, let's say diorang nak buat ni nak go down to this open house kan? This 1 month what they can prep a lot of things. Betul tak?
Yes. You can from what we have learned so far dari kita.
Kalau korang tak tengok all the kalau korang tak tengok all the segments kan, korang miss out on all the nuggets yang diorang dah share.
Let's see if we can jog our memory a bit. Make sure to come with your, kalau BTO like a video.
Betul. Salah. Tadi balik.
Blueprint.
Itu resale. Kalau resale, kalau your house is a resale, make sure to bring macam a video walkthrough. Jadi your renoworks boleh tengok the condition of your house, can advise you better. And also for both BTO dengan resale, floor plan. And come with inspiration with ideas as well. Kalau paling-paling pun colour scheme Naim
Ya, betul.
ataupun macam
Datang dengan ikhlas sudahlah.
Datang dengan ikhlas.
Jangan paksa. Ikhlas je datang.
ikhlas je datang. InsyaAllah.
Yang last episode bulan apa? Kena rasa apa? Kena rasa syukur kan?
Syukur.
Ini kena ikhlas. Bagus kita abang long kita ni.
InsyaAllah. So hopefully you can come down to the open house. InsyaAllah there are so many discounts and promotions for you guys, especially for you guys. So jangan cari lain lah. Cari je Your Reno Works.
Because kenapa? Your Reno Works can be trusted. You've come to the end of another episode of Outside In.
Outside In. If you like what you see, unpredictable, right? So if you like what you hear, please follow us on all our socials: TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube.
Yeah, share it with all of your friends and family members so that they can benefit from this episode. InsyaAllah. Jangan lupa untuk follow Your Reno Works.
Yeah.
Okay. See you. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.